Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In this video, we're talking about Yuzu, Skyline, Anbernic, as well as Chrono Cross. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off here talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Yuzu. Yuzu keeps getting better and better. If you're currently using the main version of Yuzu on PC and not the Patreon version, well, some performance updates are coming down the line. So in this new version of Yuzu, which is currently in early access, which you have access to if you're a Patreon supporter of them, there are a couple of things in here. First up, if you play Super Mario Galaxy, well, it's now playable using OpenGL as your backend if you want. And the second thing, this is huge. Improved dynamic interrupts. This increases performance by 15 to 18%. On games such as Shin Megami Tensei V for 5, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Astral Chain, and Rune Factory 5. Other games may have similar improvements. In my opinion here, a change which squeezes out close to a 20% performance increase is massive and very much welcomed. And they say here, this will be great if you're not a Patreon supporter and just using the standard free version. These changes will also be available in the next mainline release, which should be coming pretty darn soon. Fortunately, when you open Yuzu, it does automatically check for updates and it should automatically update you, so there's no real action on your end to update the program. Next up, we're still talking about Nintendo Switch emulation, but now on Android with the best Switch emulator on Android, Skyline. Skyline has another improvement, but this improvement isn't yet available to the public. This screenshot comes courtesy of Bylaws, one of the developers of Skyline, and it appears that RAYMAN is up and running. Probably not even close to being perfect, probably not even close to being fully playable. But at the same time here, this is really promising. Now, Skyline is getting better on a daily basis. It's almost like every single video I'm doing has at least one Skyline update in it. In a previous video, I teased there may be some big improvements to Skyline in the near future. And I can tell you what I talked about today isn't one of them. Moving on now, and we're still talking about emulation, we're still on Android, but we're talking about the 3DS and Citra Enhanced Beta 2.1. Citra Enhanced is a fork of Citra, the one that's available on the Play Store. Citra Enhanced is not available on the Play Store. You will have to sideload the APK on your own. I can provide you the link to the GitHub page in the description below. Feel free to check it out. This enhanced version of Citra is geared towards performance and getting games up and running if you maybe have a less powerful device or you're not happy with the update schedule of the Play Store version of Citra. It just got an update and we'll go over some of these. There aren't many here, but at the same time, if you're using Citra Enhanced, this might actually be a big update for you. First on the list here is make some in-game settings savable, boosted emulation UI, fixed graphics session crashing on some devices, fix some graphical bugs, preliminary support for multiplayer, reset settings feature, fix incorrect screen refreshing changing phone orientation, shader cache improvements, ported Citra MMJ file picker, minor UI redesigns, and expand to cutout area feature. For those of you wondering whether or not you should try out Citra Enhanced, if you're having issues with the Google Play Store version of Citra, then absolutely yes, why not? It's absolutely free. You can try out Citra Enhanced or you can even try out Citra MMJ. Both are alive and well. Next up here, we're talking about the Anbernic RG552, which is right here. If you do have one of these devices, they do run Android, and Anbernic just released an update to upgrade these devices to Android 11. This is both good and also bad. So for those of you who have an RG552, I'll leave a link to their Facebook post which contains the update in the description below. But I wouldn't rush to update just yet. Yes, they've added in support for PS2 emulators, considering they run on Android 11. Don't expect great performance at all using PS2 emulation on this device. They've also added in fan control and overclocking functions, which is nice. They've added in vertical screen display function, which is also nice. And they've added in here support for exFAT formatted files, also something great. However, the bad here kind of outweighs the good. So point number 8, Google Suite GMS is not supported at the moment. This means that you won't have access to the Google Play Store, which in my opinion is pretty much a must-have on this device. It's one of the benefits of Android. The second thing here is Android 11 does have scoped storage, which will break a few things in something like RetroArch. Now personally here, I do have an RG552 and I'm hesitant to update it considering point number 8. I don't want to lose access to the Play Store. Yes, you can sideload APKs, that's not necessarily an issue. But at the same time, just having the Play Store is so much easier. And another reason, if you don't believe me here, fellow YouTuber and handheld enthusiast Retro Game Corps also feels the exact same way. And they say here, Team Black Seraph's build is the way to go. Now, Team Black Seraph is working pretty quickly in the background, and they have made some major improvements. It's very interesting here because Anbernic appears to be a hardware company instead of a software company. That is kind of understandable considering they're making hardware devices, but at the same time here, it seems like every bit of software they put out is having some sort of issue, which is not great. Last up here, we're talking about Chrono Cross, or the remaster rather, Chrono Cross the Radical Dreamers Edition. This one's going to be on PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and PC. And the reviews are coming in and they're not looking too good at all. I think right now it's sitting at a 7 out of a 10 on average. There are some 10s in there, which is ridiculous. And there are also some 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s. It's not looking too pretty. The only reason it's reviewing so high is because the actual game itself is not bad at all. It's a pretty darn good game. However, the port of this thing is completely awful. It is suffering a ton of frame rate issues, and the remaster doesn't actually look that great. CPilot on Twitter shows a perfect example of what is and, well, what could have been. On the left here, we have the remastered graphics. And on the right, that is just PlayStation 1 graphics that have been upscaled. You tell me which one you think is better. And then tell me whether or not this game being put out from Square Enix is more or less just a cash grab. Corners have been cut, and things aren't very good at all. I mean, FPS issues are pretty much inexcusable at this point in time, considering it's just PlayStation 1. And if you have a PS1 emulator, well, you can more or less improve the graphics on your own and not really worry about the remaster. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. Let me know your thoughts on anything we talked about today in the comments below, whether it was Yuzu, Skyline, Citra, Anbernic, as well as Chrono Cross. And if I talked about anything else and just forgot, let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.